Hey, fellow film, wrong one. Hey, it's good when you mess up right out the gate, right? Okay, so should we go back and edit this, or should I keep it in? You know what? I'm going to keep it in. Hey, fellow theme park fans, Englentine here, the homegrown tourist, and we've got a couple of stories to talk to you about today. And I'm here with Dalton, the Authenticator.
Hello, everybody.
Now, I left the invitation, so Professor Pixel and RDV, they're welcome to join in, but we'll see about that. There's some pictures going around Dalton about the park and the park opening here at Walt Disney World, and I've told people, and my gosh, is Twitter alight with all sorts of stuff. What it is they will take a long angled lens picture of a group of people. And what that does is it makes everybody look very like everything's been compacted. So people who are standing 6 feet away from each other look like they're standing right next to each other. And it makes the crowd look bigger, like they're, oh, nobody here is social distancing. Aren't everybody? Oh, we need to close. Which I think is a horrible idea.
Well, it's horrible idea. When the Star Wars land opened and all the hate culture channels were duplicitously editing the photos to make it look emptier than it was.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm looking at that, and at the same time, I found an article that says 10 lies you shouldn't believe about Walt Disney World. I thought, you know what? I would like to talk about that, and of course, what started it all, which was, of course, the false pictures. Now, look, it's Disney World. You're going to be passing by people. That's going to happen. You're outside though in 1 million degree heat, and it's even the CDC, everybody has said if you're in passing, if you're going to be fine. A lot of people are talking about how much this thing has been politicized. Even the CDC has been politicizing it. You know, it's amazing to me what people are afraid of, and they want to shut the state down again, and they want to shut Walt Disney down again. But they're taking precautions, and I think you know everybody should also, and you should be as safe as you feel you could be. If you want to wear a mask all throughout the park, go right on ahead. And you should, if you're going, that's their rules anyway. So anyway, I thought, you know what, let's look through this. And I would love to find out what are actually the lies, and I want to find out what aren't, because this list I found out was done by the Diz Unplugged, which I'm a fan of. I do watch their videos. They're a little bit, I've seen them on Twitter. They're a little bit judgmental of other people. Like with the mask thing, when everything was started, one of them took a picture of a group of people walking down the road, and they didn't have masks on, and they were, you know, bumped together, and they're, oh, look at them and look at them. And I was like, you don't know their story. Are they living together? Are they family? Are they, you know, you don't know somebody's story. You shouldn't, you shouldn't jump down somebody's back if you don't know, you know. Be a little bit more tolerant is what I'm saying. That's my take on it. So I'm looking at this. I do also know that they are travel companies. So I was like, okay, where are they? I'm wondering if it's going to be steering into those, because if you ever watch another, man, I'm going to get so much hate. But if you ever watch another one, the Disney food blog, they'll say, here's 10 mistakes you shouldn't make, or 10 mistakes people make at Walt Disney World. Now, when I think of that, I think of you going to the park. There's little things like, your teenager wanting to wear 15 pounds of black wool and or leather. Don't do that.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Hydrate. That's those are the kind of things I think of. But I saw on theirs, and it was like, don't forget to book through. You know, it's like, yeah, that's not it. So I want to. Yeah, that's basically it. And I get it. You want to sell your product. That's fine. You can make videos that are basically commercials anyway. You know, a lot of people do. As a matter of fact, if you want to get merchandise, go to the link below and go through my Amazon store, and I've got a link for Disney merchandise as well. You know, people make full videos based on that. And yes, I understand exactly what I just did there. So anyway, I thought it would be fun to check this out and see what we agree with and what we disagree with. As far as 10 lies you shouldn't believe about Walt Disney World. And okay, so one, it's too expensive. It says here, one of the most common lies we hear about Disney resorts is that they're just too expensive. But the price you'll pay to stay on property varies widely depending on the time of year and specific resorts you're staying at. Like everything else at what WDW, it's possible to get a great deal if you do your research. And if staying at a deluxe resort is still out of your price range, it's worth looking at the moderate and value resorts, especially if you're really only using the resort as a place to crash and don't need any of the bells and whistles. And this is what I was talking about. This is basically, if you're a travel agent and you're doing Disney packages, this is the kind of thing you want. Also, right around the corner and down the street is 192. Now, you're going to pay drastically less on 192 than you are staying on property. You will be paying for bus and or taxi or an Uber, of course, to get on. So you do have to figure that in. Yeah, of course. You know, if it's going to be $25 to $50 a day to drive there, would that be different than, you know, if you added that to your hotel?
Adding it to the hotel on property.
Because most of the hotels have shuttles, buses that'll lead to the park and so forth and so on. They do have that. So in this one, I would say kind of. They're right. Once again, you have to make sure it's in your budget. You have to make sure if the hotel's off property, if the traveling would offset the cost or the savings of not staying on property. However, you're still looking at $130 a ticket.
Yeah.
You're still looking at what was it last time we went to a burger joint? It was like $20 for burger, fries, and a drink. You're still looking at that for lunch, and that's the those are the quick service restaurants.
Yeah, and with Bob Chapek in charge now, Bob Cheapskate, it's going to only increase in price, I have a feeling. So now there is that to keep in mind.
Now, Gail and I, we know how to go cheap, and we know, okay, if you get this, it's going to be a little bit less. But we go for a couple hours. You know, we're annual pass holders. We'll go and we'll stay for only 3, maybe 4 hours, and then we'll leave. Not the whole day thing, because we know tomorrow we could go again. Of course, not now during the phase, whatever it is, opening. But yeah, it's still expensive as heck to go to Disney, especially when you're considering 5, 6 people, four to 6, 8, you know, however big your family is.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, this is an issue with professional travel journalists. Their definition of expensive is going to be significantly different from your definition of expensive, because most of these people that work for travel blogs and the like are probably well enough off that they're, you know, middle class, upper middle class, somewhere in there. Yeah. Whereas, you know, people like us are lower middle class to working class, depending. So
well, and they're of course expensive. They're doing kind of relative, like the All-Star Movies is definitely an inexpensive hotel compared to anything else on property, which is lie number 2. It's better to stay off property. Oop, I was showing the wrong picture, I guess. Which I guess goes to say, I'm going to only spend a couple of minutes on here because basically I explained it.
Yeah, same point.
If you're off property, you got to factor in travel. You got to factor in other things as well. Now, granted, a lot of off property hotels have stuff like CC's or Burger King's and all that kind of stuff around you. So when you go home night, you got those dinner places. And but the hotels have some really interesting and fun food courts, or even some really good restaurants that I would recommend staying. So it's better to stay off property. Obviously, that's going to be preferred to your budget and your tastes. If you're more budget conscious, it is absolutely better to stay off property, I think. Well, I can't say absolute, but I would say so. That personally, I would say.
Yeah. the one thing I will say is the one time we went, we stayed off property, and I honestly think that was one of our biggest mistakes, because I think we would have enjoyed it a lot more if we had been able to enjoy the experience the entire time rather than going like 20 minutes to an hour to my stepdad's mom's timeshare place that we were staying at while we were at Disney.
The one thing that also helps out is you have more opportunity, as they're saying right here, and when it comes to making fast pass selections, dining reservations, and you can take advantage of extra magic hours. And there's also the benefit of enjoying Disney service at your resort. So yeah, and unless it's a budget thing, I would say I think I'm going to go with. While I've only done it once,
gentlemen.
Yeah, we're going to have to say they're right on this one. They're just for sleeping. Okay, this is Walt Disney Resorts. Is that what it's going on? Okay, I thought it was Walt Disney World in general, but I guess it's just the resorts. They're just for sleeping. Okay, hells to the yeah. Look, this is something right here that Gail and I enjoy all the time. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct on this one, because we do not stay on property. We're about 20 minutes away. So, it doesn't bother, but we'll go out and we'll go to a hotel just to enjoy walking around, go shopping, go dining. Right here, you see people are taking a carriage ride. They've even, I don't know if they're doing it during the shutdowns here and all that kind of stuff, but they would have campfires and a movie at Fort Wilderness. They would have movies at any poolside that's open to anybody. So absolutely, they're not just for sleeping. I got to agree with this one.
There's stuff to do, folks.
The best food is outside of the resorts. Okay, so yeah, they're nailing it on these two, because many people bypass Walt Disney World resort dining option for the option inside the park or Disney Springs. But don't be fooled. Some of the best restaurants on property are located in Disney resorts, and they're well worth making the effort, regardless of where you're staying. Yachtsman Steakhouse, Topolito's Terrace, Flavors of the Riviera at Disney Riviera Resort, Jiku at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. We ate at the Sanaa at Animal Kingdom, and it was amazing. One of our favorite breakfast places was Ale and Compass. That was really good. And the Grand Floridian Cafe at the Grand Floridian Hotel. Good stuff. But then they do have boatyards at the I can't think of it. The Mardi Gras Hotel. I can't think of the name right now. But there are some bad ones. But for the most part, yeah, check it out. Those are some good restaurants. And there's nothing.
Glad I ate before this, because otherwise
I know, right? Oh, we're going to talk about food again. There's nothing to do for free, believe it or not. There's plenty of completely free things to do at Walt Disney World. Watching movies under the stars from your resort's pool. That's what I meant. Evening campfires, safari animal viewing. That's at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and we have done that as well. My mother loves giraffes, so I took her out to the Animal Kingdom Lodge. We didn't have to go into the park. We just went to the lodge, and boom, she got to see her giraffes. And like I said, they have some great dinners over at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. Live music, seasonal activities like the trick-or-treating and the gingerbread house viewing. That's something that we did also. And frankly, one of the more fun videos to make was me and my mother and brother going around the hotels. It's not free, but we went cupcake hunting because they had seasonal desserts.
And once again, I ate before this, but I'm hungry again already.
Yeah, I'm a fat guy. I talk about food. One vacation, one resort. Still holding on to those dreams of staying at the Grand Floridian or Yacht Club, but don't have the budget? Well, little known fact about Disney resorts is that you could stay at multiple resorts during the same vacation. They'll even transfer your luggage to your next resort for free, allowing you to get a taste of deluxe level resort for a night or two while staying at a more affordable resort for the rest of your trip. I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. It sounds extremely reasonable.
And expensive, because those deluxe resorts are still, you know, $500 to $800, near $900. I wanted to stay over at Polynesian, and I found out it was about $900.
Oof.
Stay at one resort and use the pool at a different resort. While resort hopping is highly recommended, it allows you to enjoy many experiences at Disney resorts. You're not staying at one thing you won't be able to do is pool hop. In most cases, if you're staying at one of the all-store resorts, music, movies, or sports, you can use any of the pools at those resorts. Similarly, if you're staying at Port Orleans, you could use the pool at either resort, the French Quarter or Riverside, and that was the one I was thinking of. But you can't go from one to another, which, sorry, guys, I'm probably partially responsible for. As a teenager, we used to go to the Disney hotels, and we would just, oh, what room you staying in? Oh, we're staying in room.
Cue the Charlton Heston clip. You maniacs! You blew it up.
You ruined it. Yeah, that was us. We used to go there. But to be fair, I also did that at Universal Studios. So anywho, you can't walk from resorts to parks. On some of them you can, and I do know that they're building a walkway from the Grand Floridian. But for those who really like walking, there are a few resorts that are within walking distance of a theme park too. Disney's Contemporary Resort is a quick stroll from Magic Kingdom. Gail and I walked home. Gail and I walked out to the Contemporary. We parked at the Contemporary, had a little meal, and then went to Magic Kingdom. And it was actually, in our opinion, a lot better than waiting for the resort transportation. We just took off. It was really nice. It's a nice little walk. Not a lot of people were around, and for a couple of grumpy old people, that's good. Let's see. For example, in any of the Epcot area resorts are within walking distance of Hollywood Studios and Epcot, plus Disney's Boardwalk. As soon as the new path is completed, you'll also be able to walk from Magic Kingdom to Disney's Grand Floridian. And there you go. Resort gift shops are all the same. And yes, that is not true as well. You will have your main shop that has just, Disney merchandise. Mm-hmm. But they also have things that are very specific to the resort. Yeah. Like it might be like Grand Floridian or something like that, but it might also be Mardi Gras themed or beach themed, depending on where you are and where you're at. So, yeah. Looking for an Aloha Mickey shirt. Go to Disney's Polynesian. Yeah. So definitely that's true. And Monorail Resort Loop is only for guests. Hells to the no. That is absolutely a lie, because we've done it constantly. I do it so much. We went pin trading on the loop. We go dining on the loop. I told my brother one thing I would like to do is do a deconstructed meal, where we start at one restaurant on the monorail loop. And if you want to know what that is the monorail loop that goes around, that takes Polynesian, Grand Floridian, and the Contemporary, and it goes in a big loop to Magic Kingdom and then back around to the hotels. And I thought it would be fun to do a deconstructed lunch where we have an appetizer at one, entree at another, and then a dessert at the last. Sounds like it'd be fun. I don't know.
A much better deconstruction than Ryan Johnson is capable of, at least.
There you go. Let's get in that Star Trek or Star Wars blast right there. I ruined my own joke. But there you go. Yeah.
Star Trek and Star Wars, which means the pitchforks and torches will be coming for you about now.
Yeah. So there you go. That's 10 lies you shouldn't believe about Walt Disney World resorts, while I'm adding on a lie or two you shouldn't believe about Walt Disney World, and that's one of them. That is the one that I mentioned was people are doing their best to stay safe. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the pictures. Enjoy your life. Go outside. But if you go inside If you hunker down, if you lock down again, the thing is the virus is still going to be there. It's true. We should expect spikes whenever, but be safe about it. Be safe about it. That's the main thing. All righty. Well, there you go. Any last things you want to say about 10 lies you shouldn't believe about Walt Disney World Resorts?
No, I think I'm good for now anyway.
All righty. So thank you very much, guys, for checking this out. As always, what do I normally say? That's my opinion. What is yours? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to click like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, making sure that all the notifications are set to on. And if you do like the channel, link for the Patreon is in the description below. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that. And to everyone, all of our fellow theme park fans, thank you very, very much for watching.